Oh hey, welcome to my studio. As you might have heard in my previous videos, I'm moving away from my home, effectively out of this studio. Therefore, it is going to all change. And before all of that happens, I wanted to give you a tour of my studio. And the lighting condition of this room is not the best. You can see there's a huge amount of shadow behind me. It's kind of distracting. So let me go ahead and improve the overall lighting situation. So first of all, I have this nifty remote for a light that is inside the closet. So I just turn that on to get a bit of backdrop of light. And also I turn on this light over here to just give a bit of highlight on the side of my view. So there you go. This is my workstation or my studio desk. You're pretty much seeing everything that I use day to day. You can kind of see it there, but they are the switches over here that basically I can control the light this way. So when it is ready to shoot, I just turn those things on and those lights turn on. And I have plenty of bounce over there off of the walls. It just lights up the overall room that way, bouncing lights a lot of places. And also there's a one that is shedding light directly onto the desk and my face, so I have a better look in the scene. And also, as you can see, I've got a camera that is set up over there that typically looks at me, and I can also turn that on by turning on one of the switches that feeds the power onto the camera, and that is already hooked up to my computer. So I get to turn that part on by going to Canon utility, and once I do live shoot, that is going to bring up this screen over here. It looks like the angle is ever so slightly off. So I can certainly adjust that however I would like to. And this is a typical scene that you're seeing minus the water bottle. Gotta have it handy. Starting from this side over here on the desk, I've got water bottle and my phone and a wireless charger. There, it charges. And I've got two speakers that I can monitor the sound from whenever I do editings. And also I've got this lamp over here. This actually does have a smart light bulb inside, so I can actually change the temperature of the light, but I kind of like this warm tone that bounces off of the wall, so I just kind of leave it like that, and it seems pretty good to me at least. And because I'm currently using Rode Wireless Me that I recently showcased, I'm having this Rode Central app that is open here just so that I can change up settings if I wanted to. And also it is helpful to have that up when I am using my typical recording microphone. I recently switched out to this one as well, which is Rode VideoMic GO II. This is an awesome microphone that works for both 3.5mm jack as well as USB-C, and I typically use it to do my video recordings via USB Type-C port that is mounted on my boom arm over here. So I can get this close to me in the scene like so. And I typically have this mounted over here, but currently I've got this Rode Wireless Me on here, the receiver, and the transmitter is mounted on my shirt over here, and that's how you're hearing this overall sound. Hopefully you are hearing me well, and currently it is on auto assist, so it is adjusting its gain volume by itself. Hopefully it's doing a good job. In my experience, it has been doing quite a good job, so I trust that it would be fine. But in my regular video setup, I would basically extend the microphone so that it kind of points to me and I speak into the microphone. That way I get the best sound quality possible. Some of the complaints that I see a lot in my video is the fact that you guys don't like the background music that rolls on my scene. And I've got quite a lot of noises within this room, as well as a house, kids running around, airplanes flying by, and people mowing the lawn, and my AC sound too. And weirdly, I get radio frequency noises all the time within this room. I mean, imagine the amount of wireless devices that I've got in this studio, along with all the phones and iPads and laptops. There's a lot of wireless signal that is floating around, and it gets captured in a lot of microphones that I typically use. Yeah, I need to watch those things out, and if I ever have slight noise within the video, then I would like to mask it with background music. But a lot of you have complained about it, so I'm trying to do better job of removing noises, and one of the way possible is to have digital signal going into the computer rather than analog, because analog apparently is more prone for radio frequency noises. So I'm relying on USB-C connection going into my computer, which is currently mounted over here. It's kind of hard to see. Let me rotate the camera. You can kind of see my computer over here. I'll show you that in a bit, but I am currently feeding the signal from this boom arm into my computer so that I can get you the best sound quality possible. Again, I just wanted to let you know that I am really trying to get you better sound and not the masking of background music going on. So that's the most recent shift that I have made. Otherwise, I've always relied on this microphone, which is a Movo VX10 Pro that feeds directly into the camera. So it is picking up the sound into the camera. However, the longer that cable is more prone to radio frequency sound. Therefore, I'm actually trying to have a very short cable into the camera. And if I actually use any external microphone on Canon M6 Mark II, which is over here, it actually gets abnormal amount of radio frequency noise on the footage that I take with the external microphone. And that was quite a challenge I could not really overcome in any way. So yeah, I just kind of resorted to this. If I use a sound that is coming from this microphone, there's a bit more echo or reverb within the sound because it is a bit further away and this room is by no means sound treated. So that's something that I've got going. A lot of time if I have a microphone on my shirt or the boom arm microphone, then it does take care of most of the problem. Therefore, that's how you have been receiving my recent videos. And going around, I've got 22-inch screen that is from LG, and I've got something against having a very loud branding or logo in something. So a lot of times when a microphone is pointing at me like so, I just turn around the logo just so that it's not so loud within the scene. And Rode recently have gotten a bit loud with their branding. I've been just trying to avoid them by possibly sticking a tape on the microphone so that it is not so loud and just kind of blend in so that it is not too distracting within the scene. So that is something that I do. Again, I had the LG logo here and I just kind of taped it so that you guys don't really see it. Same thing goes to these two monitors. It's got a little tape on it. You just don't see it and the brand kind of blends in, but they are all LGs. This one is 22-inch. These are 27 inches side to side. I think that is the best setup possible. It is a Quad HD or 1440p screens on both, and I run them at 100%. And in my experience, that works out perfectly, better than ultra wide screens or any larger 4K monitors of whatever size. This way, I have a good amount of resolution and screen real estate, as well as not just bogging down too much of a resolution for a computer to calculate. By the way, there's a marketing strategy or trick, if you will, that everybody's trying to sell 4K screens to you. Actually, it might do more harm than good in many cases because 4K is not only more expensive, but unless your screen is really large, you won't be able to appreciate all of that resolution. And actually, it is putting additional strain to your machines, either it be desktop or even more so on laptops. It's eating your battery as well as all the compute power, generating more heat as well. Especially on laptops, I do advise not to put 4K screens on yours unless you have a very specific reason that you want 4K. Maybe you're a graphic designer who appreciates all the sharpness that comes into your screen. But other than that, yeah, stick to lower resolutions. And that's what I've got here. 1080p screen, 1440p, Quad HD, and I'm quite happy with it. And again, looking above slightly further, you see the two lights that I have explained before. And there is a little device over here I was recommended of this device from one of my viewer or inside of the comments. It is a device from Fio, and I think it is called KB1, and it's basically got 3 keys that you can program along with a dial that you can press and also turn, and that comes in quite handy because I've always been complaining that my keyboards don't have dedicated media control buttons and a dial. That basically does that for me. This is a play button, and then previous, and then the forward, as well as the volume. It controls the volume on my computer. You can kind of see the volume that is going up and down, and that comes in quite handy, although it is a bit of a stretch to press that, but at least it is out of my overall desk. Instead of hitting function key and trying to find the right key on my keyboard, I can just hit that and then pause and play and make the volume louder. It is sort of a workaround because I really would like that on my keyboard, but that is good enough for me for now. And speaking of keyboard, currently I'm using Keychron K5 that I have showcased on my channel multiple times at this point. And I actually have swapped out most of the single size keycaps with the Newfies keycaps that allows light through, and it actually has been working quite well. So this is a pleasant keyboard to use in most cases. And any of you suffering from wrist pains or your palm pain, then do get a wrist rest. This is actually one from Logitech Logi MX wrist rest, I believe, and it works really well. If you get one of those thick ones, it actually kind of tilts your hand up too much, and I feel that is a bit uncomfortable. And having a bit of a cushion but not as thick is what I prefer. And that goes the same for this sort of wrist rest that works for the mouse. This is one from Kensington, and it was cheaply available. I believe it was like $15 and worked quite well. This one is from Razer. It is a gray mouse pad. I like these sort of lighter color than the dark ones. I can kind of keep them clean quite well, although I do have a little bit of smudges, but I like the big size. I don't really need a lot of horizontal distance. And I know it is a bit unorthodox to turn the mouse pad around vertically, but it actually works quite well for me, so I'm just kind of using it this way. This is MX Master 3S, and I have showcased this mouse multiple times on my videos, and this is my current mouse that I have been using at least for about a year. So yeah, that's always been quite well for me. Going further to the right, let me rotate my camera over here. You can see my iPad that I often take a lot of notes on, so I can just pop it up and then turn it on to have some sort of notes on it. I can jot down notes or ideas as I go through the day quite easily. I was actually using SketchUp on this for my new bedroom idea. I was just sitting down on my sofa the other day and then just thinking of how I'm gonna redress up my bed frame to just have a bit of bedside tables. I don't know, maybe just 3D doodling, and that's what I have done here. I also recommend this case that is from, where is this case from? Oh, the one from ESR Tech Made Easier, and I love this case because it was cheaply available but allows your pen to be encased like that, and it is a nice finish. And if you have seen a lot of my videos, I kind of showcase this all the time, but this one is a magnetic dongle that attaches to micro USB, lightning cable, as well as USB-C. So in this case, it is USB-C, and you can take any of my other cables and basically attach to there so that you can have it charging or connect to your computer. So in my case, I have my keyboard charging there. If my mouse runs out of battery, I can just swap it to connect it to the mouse like that, and then it just starts charging. Or better yet, I've got this short cable that is mounted under the desk, so I just keep my iPad over here and then just bring this cable. I don't even have to look. I can just leave it there and it starts charging. Same thing for this little media dedicated keys. It actually has a magnetic thing over here, and I have a couple of other devices like this mouse. I can just bring it up to here and then it starts charging if I just need to quickly charge it. So I just wanted to kind of show you that. And also I've got this 2 terabyte external solid state drive from Sayl. I have showcased this device before, and again, if I need to connect this to my computer, I can either take it to here and then just bring this up and it can now be read from my computer as well. And that phone charger from Inu also has a magnetic charging cable back here, so I can just unplug it to, I don't know, charge something differently. But that is also available like that. I can easily charge my phone this way so that it faces me and I can just quickly get to it. And same thing for my headset over here. This is my typical headset. It connects up to 2 different devices, and this is a Zone Wireless from Logitech, and I just put them on for conference calls and I can just talk to people this way and works out fine. It connects via Bluetooth as well as a dedicated dongle that is meant for this headset, and I can mute myself by pushing it up and nobody hears me. And if I need to talk, I just put it down and then start talking, and it works well with communication software such as Microsoft Teams, which I use all the time. And as I said, it connects up to 2 different devices, so if I turn this on, it also connects to my phone. Therefore, if phone rings, I can just pick this up and then talk to the person this way as well. But it also charges wirelessly. So if I do want, there is that dongle also slotted in here, so I can just bring it up and charge it as well. But I actually typically don't do that because it is wirelessly charging from this side over here. So I can just leave that on a charging pad that you see over here and then just drop it like that and it starts charging. And again, that charging pad is also with that magnetic dongle. You can see that how much that I'm using this magnetic dongle, and this one is from NetDot. You guys, if you're listening, I'm happy to collaborate. I'm really just selling your product over here. Anyways, and I've got this wireless charger from Spigen, long sponsor of my channel. I love their product. That's why it's over here, charging my devices as well. If I'm at a pinch, I can also charge my phone this way as well. But most of the time I charge my phone on this side because I can just quickly reach it. And my headset just goes back on here, starts charging, and you might have noticed I've got these 2 remotes over here. This one is a one that controls the backlight over here. I can just press that to turn off the backlight and turn back on. And also I can control the color temperatures and all, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. And then this is a remote for my blinds. It is actually sunset or after sunset, so you can't really see outside all that much. You can kind of see the blue skies, but I can press this button up here and then it's gonna start rolling up, or put it all the way down so that it just comes down. This product is from SmartWings. I have showcased them multiple times on my channel. I love these blinds. Go check them out. Let them know that I have sent you their way, but I love their product. I actually have more blinds showing up for my new studio and home, so I'll make another video for it. These are also connected on my Google Assist, so I can actually voice prompt them to put it up and down, but it is just easier to have a remote by so that I can control the light. In this case, maybe I just want to cut out the light completely, so I can do that. It actually has a solar panel on the corner of the roller shade, so during the day it will charge itself, and that is sufficient to get this blind going forever. So I think that is pretty much it in terms of what's on top of my desk. You can kind of see the overhead connection point over here. Normally I mount either the Canon M6 Mark II down firing, or I can have this camera mounted on here. Is actually something that I've been doing recently. So I don't think I've showcased it all that well last time. All right, get in the scene, webcam. So this is a webcam from Insta360 and it is called Link. And it is amazing because currently it's sitting on the invisible selfie stick that I typically use for my 360 cameras. I've got the mount over here. It just has a common tripod mount on here and it just sits there, and it actually has a gimbal on it. Either I can control it via mouse and just going up and down and zoom in and out however I would like. And it even does HDR, which is currently what you're seeing, as well as 4K. Things look very sharp. Actually, beginning of this video was quite dark, yet it picked up everything very well. And I love its tracking feature. That's how I was able to just move throughout the office and still it follow me. I don't need a camera crew. It's just gonna do its job of following me. So a couple of features down here is one, tracking the face. the person, and whiteboard mode, and then overhead mode, and then desk view mode. But let me back up a bit. So I'm just gonna have it turn around like this. So it's gonna start tracking me, and I can walk around, and it is going to have zooming and also tracking feature. So let me just kind of show you what's going on here. I've shown this closet before, but it is a closet. I took out the door that was over here. So I can kind of show you the guts of the closet because I think it's interesting. It's currently with a very long USB-C cable, so I can just kind of move this webcam around. All right, you kind of see it over there, but there's that light, and then I've got a lot of junk that is down here. I'm actually forcing this gimbal because it's trying to stabilize. You can actually have it moving around too because it stabilizes itself quite well. Have it look at me and have it down here. All right, so it is not going to focus on me and follow me. Yeah, so that's what my closet is and the backdrop. Can you stop? All right, and then I can just kind of move it, force it. All right, so a couple of junks that are over here. You can see some light equipment along with tripods that I have accumulated over the years. Again, lots of small tripods, some computer parts, and these are my travel gear down here, backpack and the luggage bag. Actually, I bought this very recently. This is a bag from PGY Tech, and it is big enough to carry around a lot of camera gear, so it works perfectly for people using drones and carrying a lot of expensive gear. Something that I wanted to show you guys later. Over here that has a lot of USB cables and some cable ties, batteries, lights, microphone. It really is all the equipments that I use quite frequently. And this is sort of a charging station that's got 360 cameras from, again, Insta360. Two more of them, so one X2, X3, and then one RS 1-inch edition. I've been using this camera more so than any other cameras, and a air blower so that I can dust things. And all the cables are basically for charging different devices. And then going around, you see more of incidental devices over here. 3D mouse, another type of webcam that I'm definitely not using, tapes, and a lot of small components for camera, and some playing card. Actually, that's some hobby that I used to have in my high school, so I don't show this very often anymore, but I used to do magic tricks. I kind of show that on one of these pile over here. This is a brand new deck. Actually, I never used this before. How did I do? All right, so you're gonna tell me what this card is. There you go. I don't know, I got a bit rusty. So as you can see, I've got a couple of sentimental items up here, but here's all the tools, screwdrivers and a different type of pliers and little tiny screwdrivers for messing with stuff. And I've got architectural scales and rulers. And this drawing brush is very useful getting dust off of places. So I just use that to occasionally get dust off. I'm not going to do that because it's quite dusty. I don't want dust flying around everywhere. And my free coasters from Home Depot. You pick up these wood samples to be your coasters, and that's actually what I do. I got one over here that I use for my coffee. Again, pens and pencils. This is something that I actually had made in my high school days from my wood shop. It kind of brings back the memory, but these are actually rolls for the plotters, and I just kind of cut them and stacked it to contain some pens and pencils and erasers and such, or rubber for those people from UK, and water bottles that I don't use, display purposes only, lens collections. This is something that I use for architectural photography. Canon EFS 10 to 18mm lens. I love this one, but also I do use the kit lenses. I haven't got all that many, so let me just kind of go over the ones that I have. This is a Canon EF M series 15 to 45 kit lens, and this is EF lens for 50mm, and I've got the adapter for EF-M mount, and then two other pancake lenses. This one is Canon EFS 24mm and the other one is 40mm. So I haven't got all that expensive lenses. I like to stay somewhere more budget oriented. The one that I'm shooting from on Canon EOS M50 is one from Sigma 16mm. I love that lens and it gives me a very good view, but also this webcam is looking good too. Going further down, let's have a look at this chair, because I don't think I have ever mentioned this chair before on the channel. And I believe this chair is called Sayl from Herman Miller. And I love Herman Miller chairs, but they are very, very expensive. And the remastered version of Aaron is very good chair and very iconic, but it is very expensive. I don't think I can spend $1,000 on chair. I think I paid about $500 or $600. This chair is also very comfortable. I like these mesh back because it is breathable, and I don't really like mesh bottoms because yes, they are breathable, but they tend to kind of sag too much in my opinion. So I prefer this cushioned, and it is well cushioned as well. So this is the chair that I prefer. For all chairs, I always take the armrest out. I've had problem with armrest where it was pinching my nerve on my elbow and I couldn't lift my arm for days, and it took me a while to figure out that I was actually resting my elbows on an armrest and it was pinching my nerve. So I get rid of armrests and I don't use them. And you can get a ton of ergonomic chairs out there. People say different things about different chairs, but you've got to find the chair that works for you. Everybody is different. Everybody sits differently. Their height's different. And amount of time they sit on is different. So you've got to sit on one before you decide on a specific chair. Luckily, I had the same chair at my work and I felt that it was very comfortable. So I decided to go down this one just in black so that it just blends into background whenever I sit on a chair. I didn't want my chair being distracted within the scene. My only complaint about this chair is the fact that it makes sort of a plastic sound whenever I adjust my posture. It may not bother other people, but it is something that kind of annoys me. You heard that little plastic noise? I don't like that plasticky sound, so that is something for you to be aware of. But the chair itself is very comfortable. I just sit for hours on this chair and work all the time. And there's a lot of people out there who's suffering from back pains and such. Something that worked for me, and it may not work for you, but something that worked for me was that as long as I put my feet up on a box or feet rest like that, then I am not really flexible, therefore I tend to lean back. And this way, if I work, then I'm not leaning forward, putting a lot of strain on my shoulder or the back. So I just pull up my chair quite close and put my feet up, and I can work for hours this way. It does put more pressure on my lower bum, so I do need to adjust a little bit time to time, but I can last a lot longer this way without any pain on my shoulder or back. This may or may not work for you depending on how your posture is or your body type is, but because I'm not really flexible, putting my feet up is really something that worked out for me, along with these wrist rests for my wrists. Without them, I do get pain on my wrist. Also, the desk. So I've got the butcher block top. It is 2x4 size. It's not really a big desk. I like small desks, small things. And this is a standing desk from iMovR. And I just swapped out the top, and I've got a bunch of different cables that are mounted underneath it, along with the computer on the side, but it turns into standing desk and also sitting desk, so I can just adjust it however I would like. Whenever I am standing, I just press a button there, and then it's going to adjust like that, and it goes to the height that I have preset. And then I just bring this standing mat so I can stand in it, although I usually don't have this cable going by. So this is how I usually record and also work standing. And this does change up the posture every now and then. Half of the day I work sitting, and then another half I'll be standing. Therefore, changing up the posture really helps in terms of putting pressure off from certain part of your body. Again, the mileage may vary depending on who you are and how you work. At least it worked out for me. And you can kind of see it over there, but I've got the butt cushion on top of a file cabinet or box so that I can rest my feet easily. I don't think it's so nice looking, but it is what it is. It gets the job done. As far as my computer goes, if you can look away from that butt cushion, is that I've got this USB-C cable currently. Normally I don't, but I just wanted to have it connected to my webcam that I'm currently using. But this computer is custom built. Case is from Fractal Design. You can check out what I have done to this machine on my video. I'll leave the link in the description, but I've got that solid state external drive and a free coaster from Home Depot for floor sample. And I've got a headset over here that I use for either monitoring the sound via wire or also gaming, but I've got it charging. Again, that magnetic dongle is showing up again. That's how I have it charging, and that's where I hang it, but I don't typically use it throughout the day, just for podcast purposes or streaming. So lastly, let me turn around to the other side and show you the other side of the room. I don't typically show this side, but here are a couple of products that needs to be either reviewed or already has been reviewed. And I've got this light over here just so that I have a better angle whenever I'm taking product shot on this desk. And this is a desk that I have kind of put together. This is a MDF top with a sticky back wood on top so that it is laminated floor literally on top, and I just Sharpied this corner trim onto the edge of the MDF so it just looks nice and a smooth surface, and it kind of gives this faux wood look. And I've got this camera that is currently being graduated because Insta360 Link is replacing the overhead camera that is there, and my daily driver for my travels, Dell XPS 13 2-in-1 laptop that's seen a lot more use before, but it is working fine for travel purposes. I prefer 13-inch ultralights when I'm going on a travel because my desktop is powerful enough to do a lot more task extension or power that has a USB-C power delivery charging laptops. And again, this is a one from Asus Zenbook. I love the look of this laptop currently being reviewed. I've got a tripod from Insta360. I think this one is meant to be used with a Link as well for tabletop purposes, but I've got better selfie stick that is 3-meter long, so it works fine. And I've got this one over here, Insta360 Flow Creator Kit. It's a lovely gimbal for your smartphones, but I just haven't really found a good application for me to use this product yet because my smartphone isn't really that good, because I'm still using Samsung Galaxy S10e, which is 3 years old at this point. So I'll have to upgrade my phone before I can trial and showcase this product as well. If you guys have any thoughts or questions about this product, then just let me know. I'll love to have a look at that as well. Also, it is a automatic sit and standing desk, so it does go up and down, but I don't really do that as often. And I've got this ottoman box for a lot of different type of bags that I store underneath, small bag, big bags. All right, so that is a tour of this one room studio that I've got going. So this will now be moved to a different home. It'll look pretty much the same, or at least I plan to make it the same until I change out something, but it does get updates very often. So this is sort of documenting process. And for all the products or things that are shown on this video, I'll try to leave links of those products in the description. But if you have a specific question or question about a product that I may have missed, then leave the question down in a comment. I'll be happy to answer those questions. And if you have found this tour useful or entertaining, then please like this video and consider subscribing to my channel to continue watching these type of videos and also the videos that I'll be producing on the next home. And thank you so much for watching. As always, I'll see you next time. Bye.